Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video. So I'm going to talk about Doctor Who because she does not care anymore about Doctor Who. We're going to talk about Alex Kingston, who played River Song on Doctor Who for many years, and how she is coming out against cancel culture. And she's also not saying much about the new incarnation of Doctor Who. I don't think she likes the show very much. I don't think she likes the direction of the show. Now, she could be biased because she's not in it. But, yeah, because they wrapped up her storyline with Stephen Moffat, with the husbands of River Song, which I thought was a fantastic episode, by the way. I loved that. It was actually one of my favorite Peter Capaldi episodes of Doctor Who. But yeah, she's coming out against cancel culture, and I think more and more celebrities are going to come out against cancel culture because, you know, we've been saying that the way the mob mentality works is they might eat you last, but they're absolutely going to turn on you when they run out of other targets. And, you know, what we have seen happen time and time and time again is people bite their lips when cancel culture goes after people they don't like, whether it's, you know, a rival or a wrong thinker, somebody whose political ideology is a 180 from yours. It's okay if cancel culture goes after them. But as we've been seeing, once the easy pickings are picked, once they get eaten, once the stragglers get eaten, they start turning their attention toward everybody else, even people on their own side. And we've been seeing more and more and more of this lately. So I think more celebrities need to speak out against it. At least, you know, at least put that out there. I think it makes them harder to cancel because if they've already spoken out against it and they've already gotten ahead of it, you know, like Jerry Seinfeld, it's gonna be very hard to cancel him completely because he's been speaking out against cancel culture for years. And they're gonna be like, well, of course they're going after him because he's, you know, calling it out, right? Dave Chappelle, same thing. So I think that you kind of need to get ahead of it and just be like, yeah, we're not on board with this, and you don't want people thinking that you are, because it's for pussies, okay? It really is for pussies to find very nebulous reasons to cancel people, and that's across the board. I mean, you know, digging up old interviews, digging up old tweets, you know, whatever. Unless somebody has done something really egregious. You know, people are allowed to have their different opinions. Now, cancel culture, I believe, has been used to get rid of critics. It's been used to get rid of potential rivals. I think the situation with Roseanne Barr in particular, I think that was more about a power struggle over the TV show than it was about the stuff she said. Not that I necessarily condone the stuff she said, but I think it was the people on the show, Sarah Gilbert in particular, wanted control of the show. I think in the case of, you know, people pointed to Tim Allen, who is not canceled from Disney, by the way, not all of Disney, but with Lightyear. I think there were people at Pixar that did not like him because he actually did come out in support of Donald Trump. But for the most part, I don't think he really talks much about politics. I don't think he does. I mean, there are some people that are openly conservative in Hollywood that aren't constantly beating the drum, and they try to pressure them. Look at Chris Pratt, man. Like, they keep trying to pressure Chris Pratt to come out and say this or say that just to make sure he's on the right side of history. But really what they're looking for is a reason to get rid of him, because he's voicing half the characters in Hollywood in animation right now. You know, I think that there are people that would love to have him canceled. But yeah, you got to stand your ground, you know, again, unless it's really egregious, people should be allowed to have different opinions. And again, that is on both sides of the aisle. You don't have to agree with them. Nobody's asking you to agree with them. You know, but, you know, we live in an era where everybody's thoughts are out there for the world to see. I think that back in the day, the reason it seemed like celebrities didn't say as much is because, you know, the PR machine was very guarded in what they were allowed to say. Occasionally you'd see an interview in like TV Guide or something. But most of the time it was about the show, the project, the stuff they've worked on. It wasn't necessarily about their politics. The only time you really knew a celebrity was political is if they were hyper political, like Barbara Streisand or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really didn't know politics, but now because everybody's got Twitter, everybody's got social media, and you've got access to these people, you know, that you've never had before. Now everybody is trying to trip people up to get them to say something to get rid of them. just because they don't like him for whatever reason. And that's bullshit. I mean, let's talk about this. God, I've been going on for 5 minutes and we haven't even gotten into it yet. Let's talk about this. Before we get into it further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We have an audio version of Clownfish TV out on Spotify, on Amazon, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find it. So if you miss an episode on YouTube, check the audio version. You don't really need to see us bobbing up and down. It's kind of annoying, I admit. I don't even watch us. I don't even watch us. Like if I'm listening to a show to make sure I didn't forget to cut something out, I'm always listening to it, not actually watching it. It's coming from Bounding into Comics. So hat tip to them, and they got it from The Telegraph. Doctor Who actress Alex Kingston decries cancel culture. I don't think people realize how dangerous canceling people is. Yeah, she says it's fascism. She says it's fascism. The original headline says cancel culture is fascistic. Is that a word? Fascistic. My generation is treading on eggshells. Yeah. And a lot of times it's older liberals. I think she's older than we are, but we're seeing a definite divide between like Gen X and older millennials and younger millennials and even Gen Z in terms of what is and what is not acceptable to say or do or whatever to believe. And there's this fairy tale like belief system, I think, that a lot of millennials and Gen Z have, that their celebrities have to be like idols overseas, right? Like they have to have this perfect blemish free life or you can't support them in whatever you deem as being perfect, right? They have to agree with everything you agree with or they have to be canceled. And it's so weird. Like this is so damn weird. I mean, when I was a kid, there were celebrities out there that believed some really batshit stuff, and comics especially, like Neil Adams, one of the most talented comic book artists who has ever lived, believed some batshit crazy stuff about the like hollow earth theory and all that. But that's fine. I could still appreciate his art. I could still have a conversation with him at a convention. Yeah, in the back of my mind, it might be like, dude, how can you believe in like the lizard people that live underground and the earth and all that? But whatever. You believe what you want to believe. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? But now it's just like, yeah, you have to, the person, you're not allowed to support the person unless everything they do aligns with what you believe, which is so damn weird. I need to see myself represented on screen. And that's just narcissism. It is. Like if you can't accept other people's points of view, then you're just a narcissist. Like most sane individuals in the world, Alex Kingston is both absolutely fed up with and ready to move past the entire unforgiving concept of cancel culture. It's about damn time. Kingston, who played River Song in Doctor Who and Dinah Lance in Arrow, offered her criticism of cancel culture during a recent interview given to UK news outlet The Telegraph in promotion of an appearance on Douglas is Cancelled, an ITV drama in which its titular, God, there's that word again, titular news anchor finds himself under fire from society after making an off-color joke while on air. And that would totally happen too. It would happen if you made it off air. Somebody would be recording you. And if you made some joke about something stupid, like, hey, is that a gun in your pocket? Are you happy to see me? And oh, I thought it was a she. You'd be canceled. I'm using that as an example. I'm just saying you would be canceled. Pressed by the outlet's Gabrielle Tate for her thoughts on the entire phenomenon, she said cancel culture is terrifying. Sort of fascistic, really. I don't think people realize how dangerous canceling people is and what that has meant historically. Well, Gina Carano knew. She knew. Yeah, she knew how dangerous it was, and she commented about how dangerous it was. And guess what? She got canceled. The irony in this, Gina Carano got canceled for talking about how dangerous cancel culture actually is. I mean, seriously. But that was a couple of years ago, right? Expanding on her viewpoint, Kingston continued, my generation is treading on eggshells, not knowing whether what you say will unintentionally hurt somebody. I get really confused about pronouns, for instance. I'm just not confident with how and when to use them. Most people, most normal people, even if they use the they, them pronouns, if you slip or something, that's fine. A for effort. But anymore, it's like, you intentionally misgendered me. I'm gonna get you fired from your job. I mean, God, we've seen this. We've seen it in comics and we've seen it in animation. Like, they will literally, if they don't like your hot takes on comic books or cartoon shows, they will call your place of work and they will try to get you fired. Be like, just so you know, you've got a bigot and a Nazi working for you, and you should fire them because they said mean things on Twitter about a comic book character. Like, what person in their right mind is going to listen to that and be like, oh, you know, you're right. They said mean things about gay Superman. I should fire them immediately, even if they're one of my best employees and they make me lots of money. Yeah, because they don't like the fictional gay Superman character, Superman's kid, and they made a YouTube video about, I'm going to fire them right now. Absolutely random internet person who's clearly got a lot of mental issues, and I have no idea who the fuck you are. We've actually gotten phone calls like that. We've gotten phone calls like that. We've gotten emails like that. People trying to get me fired from my own business. That's absolutely hilarious. But I'm like, like there are always these randos, and you listen to the messages and they sound unhinged. I mean, the people sound like they've got clear mental issues. And again, this goes back to having access to people that you normally would not have had access to. I don't think any of this would happen without social media. I don't think any of this would be happening because, again, a lot of, back in the day, like, actors didn't even know what the hell was going on unless their PR people told them what was going on. There's definitely several barriers to entry to get to somebody, which was probably for the best, honestly, because there are a lot of really mental people out there. Again, now you've got unfettered access to people. There's no empathy or sympathy, she says. Opinions are immediate and black and white. I hope we'll start coming back to a place where people can be kinder to each other, both in thinking about what they're going to say and hearing what's being said. No, a lot of people don't want to hear. And again, you're dealing with a lot of people now that are either just vicious and cruel for the sake of being vicious and cruel, or they've got legitimate mental issues. Like, these studios have listened to people who have legitimate mental illness, and they've let them dictate how they spend millions of dollars and who they hire and fire. And it's a very, very vocal minority. These people never would have gotten through the filter 20 years ago. Like, they would have sent some crazy ass letter to a studio in Burbank or something and look at it and be like, yeah, what the hell is this? Into the garbage can it goes. And now, because everybody can tweet everything and everybody can post on Facebook, and a lot of these mentally ill people are actually working as pop culture journalists, and they can blast their opinions out there. Now things are very different. Again, there used to be a vetting process. Now there isn't. And it's a double-edged sword. I mean, it's great in the fact that there are no real gatekeepers anymore, but in some cases, I think it's wise to have layers of protection and, a vetting process for opinions to kind of be like, yeah, well, this is one person with like 15 alt accounts, and they've got this whole message board dedicated to this ship. Maybe we shouldn't listen to them because they're trying to get this actor or actress canceled because their character is in love with this other character that they think should be with this other character. And it sounds ridiculous when you actually spell it out, but that literally is sometimes what is at the root of cancel culture. I mean, it's so bizarre. It's really like I would love to sit these people that hate Chris Pratt. I'd love to sit them down and be like, what the fuck is your actual problem with Chris Pratt? Like, what is your actual problem with him? Because as everybody's like, let's cancel Chris Pratt again because he maybe is conservative, maybe. What is your actual problem with him? Did he kick your puppy? Did he eat your puppy? You know what I'm saying? What is the deal? And then you find out that, like, they don't even know. They're just kind of like joining in on the on the mob. It's trendy to try to cancel Chris Pratt. Like, he's trending, so everybody jumps on the bandwagon, right? Then she addressed the ever-growing discourse around the concept of authentic casting actors in a role based on whether or not they share the exact immutable personal traits as a given character. She said society can reach a balance where parts are open potentially to everyone, but within the right context. Basically, it doesn't make sense to cast, a bunch of black people to be aristocrats in England in the 1800s or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But we keep seeing this with Netflix, and nobody bats an eye. Like, oh, okay, well, the Queen, yeah, she's a black lesbian now. That's okay. That's okay. Google AI said it was okay. Gemini said it was fine. We Googled it and their AI told us that this is historically accurate. Sometimes you want to be historically accurate. You've got to face the reality of what that would have meant in casting terms. People should be allowed to explore roles they would not have been able to explore before, and also not be deprived of roles or even of writing roles because they don't actually physically apply to them. We need a sensible, fertile middle ground. I do agree. I think in cases where you make it explicitly clear that this is a historical drama or comedy or parody or whatever, and it's not 100% historically accurate, I think it's totally fine. But to try to represent history differently, or to exclude people from the writer's room just because they're not the right kind of person. You're a man, you can only write men, and we don't want men in our show. So you're fired. And that's what that's what the point is. And a lot of these people, again, not only have the mentally ill people taken over social media, taken over journalism, a lot of them are now working in the industry, and they're pushing their mental illness and their grudges and their vendettas. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is just nonsense. The whole thing, we've got to get back to center. And I know that there are people like, no, we have to go back to characters sleeping in separate beds on screen and everybody's straight. No, that's not what I'm saying either. That's not Sam Eagle. That's not what that's not what I'm saying either. I'm saying, can we just roll it back to like the 90s? I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy to rolling it back to the 90s. So here's what's interesting, right? She will not comment on current Doctor Who. She said, I've been too busy to watch anything that needs my focus and attention. I'm behind on shooting the whole new world of Disney Plus. The fans will bring me up to date, no doubt. Yeah, let's talk about that. Because when she was in the TARDIS, let's see, this would have been around 2010 to 2014, 2015. The average rating for Doctor Who was 8.3 million, 7.75 million, 8.28 million, 8.09 million, 7.34 million. And now we're down to, 4, 3, like half of that. The viewership has been halved since she was in the TARDIS. And I think I want to say 2016 was probably her last time on Doctor Who. Was at the Husbands of River Song, which I love that episode so much. I thought I would have loved to see more River Song with Peter Capaldi's Doctor. I think that it worked very well. I think those two actually worked better together than Matt Smith and David Tennant. I think it would have been fantastic. I would have watched a whole season of that. I think they played off each other very well. But even that was almost 8 million. And we're just dropping off a cliff now. Since Jodie Whittaker, 5... We had, let's see, a little bit of a bump here. 7, 7, 5, 5, 4. We had 4 episodes, 7.27 million. Yeah, I guess it was okay. Is that right? But now we're down to 3.5. So yeah, it's not good. I think a lot of people are noping out. I think it is funny that she will not comment on the new Doctor Who. Now, she was not Russell T Davies' character either. She was definitely Moffat's. I don't know if you call her Mary Sue, but she was Moffat's character. So I don't see her coming back unless Moffat, writes another episode. And of course, we know Ncudi's Doctor is very gay, so I don't think they're going to be doing anything unless they turn River into a man, which they could totally do. I could totally see them doing that, just because. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe. What do you think? What do you think about Alex Kingston and cancel culture and all of this nonsense going on? Leave a comment. We'll talk later.